Good evening. This is the Veteran Field Training. I've I've been thinking for the last couple of days of making this video, and I keep on changing, and changing. But today I decided to do a little rant. As you know, as anybody that's followed this channel knows, I strongly object to the President of the United States. I did not vote for him. I do not like him. But he's the President of the United States, and I respect the presidency. I don't have to agree with it. Right now, he is providing a lot of split in this country. I mean, split. Some veterans love him, some veterans, like myself, can't stand him. But he's our president, and I respect the presidency. But I am truly disappointed because, in my opinion, this is my opinion, so you could you can't really fault me for having my opinion, but this is what I see. President Trump has turned this civil rights in this country back over 60 years. And I'm talking from experience. Like I said, I grew up in New York City at the time Trump was a young man and a young bachelor running around New York City, and some of the despicable things he was doing. As far as not renting to minorities and not paying his contractors. But he was a young man, and he wasn't looking to be president at that time. He was just looking out for himself. So I can't really fault him. But right now, one of the first things he did was turn back the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which is despicable. Personally, I think we needed that. Because I joined the military in October of 70, and things were bad as far as civil rights. Back in the 60s, it was terrible in the southern parts of the United States, also in the eastern parts. I remember as a young man, the guys walking to me, Prince, let's go over, because we were living in New Orleans area, which is close to Canarsie. And the guys would come to me and say, hey, come on, let's go beat up some white boys in Canarsie. And I would say, no, that is not who I am. I believe in people. I love people, regardless of what color, what religion, what your sexual preference. It didn't bother me. I treated all people as human beings and wanted to be treated in such. But that was not the way things were. People were really segregated, because when I got to my neighborhood in New York, it was a white neighborhood. We had Jews, we had Italians, and we also had some Cubans. And the neighborhood started slowly changing into a black and Puerto Rican neighborhood, because as the blacks move in, the whites started moving and started moving out. So we ended up with a lot of Puerto Ricans and blacks, and there was a lot of separations. So moving forward, in the 70s, when I went in the Army, I went into Fort Lee, Virginia. And I remember going down there and traveling to Washington, and I was a couple of buddies, and we were accused, well, I was accused of making noise on the train, and I wasn't. The woman pointed to me and said, I am making noise, and disturbing her on the train. And so I was accused of doing something I wasn't. That's just the way it was. We were stationed at Fort Lee, um, with Petersburg and Colonial Heights. We used to call Colonial Heights Colonial Whites. It's just a lot of division. And the Army, after a while, started a lot of programs of trying to teach people about different cultures, diversity, and trying to change and making sure the people in the military get along with each other, which were good programs. They helped to each of us to understand where the others were coming from. The Army has always been the leader in civil rights, and it helps tremendously. And when it says civil rights, we're not asking for anything. I remember when I came in the Army, I was always taught to study as much as I can because as a black man, I have to be. My parents are better and more educated than the white man in order to get ahead. So my parents always pushed education. So I always thought if I got I was looking for an opportunity, and the military provided that opportunity because, as I said, my parents couldn't really afford to send me to school. Now, I went for about 6 months, and I thought it was too much expense on my parents. So I joined the military. And the military, one of the first things they gave me was an opportunity to go to West Point Prep School. And I turned that down. Because at the time, I was not really interested in staying in the military. So I turned that down. It was bad, a mistake at the time, but because when I came in the Army in '70, my intentions was just to get enough money to go back to school. I had no intention of making a career in the Army, but I went pretty well at a good pace in the military because, as we said, when I learned something, I learned it the right way. I always put forth my best effort. So the people gave me the opportunity. I earned every position I got in the military. Nobody gave me anything. I had to work for it, and I had to work harder. And the military had programs were giving minorities a break, but you had to qualify. So I always had the qualifications necessary. It wasn't here. You just get this position because you're a black person. No, I earned it. And I thought the Army was a forward-moving organization. The Trump administration is attacking racism through the program called DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. That is another word thing for racism. But people got to realize that diversity is just saying, if you look at the Trump cabinet, the majority of the cabinet is white men. The majority of white men. And diversity is saying is, if you're not qualified, I don't want to put in a position if you're not qualified to do it. I'm not asking that. All I'm asking is, and minorities are asking for, is an equal opportunity. Don't put me in a position because of the color of my skin. I want a position because I'm qualified for that position. And that's the way I've always been. I've worked hard for everything I've gotten because I go out there, learn the qualifications, and always prepared for that opportunity. I don't want anybody to give me anything because of the color of my skin. And the same thing with diversity. Don't put anybody in a position if they're not qualified. We're not asking for that. All we're saying is give us an equal chance. If you look at the Trump cabinet, you're saying there's no minority that can qualify for those positions. Look at it. All previous administration have been diversified. You've gone, going back to the Truman when he integrated the forces. That's all we're asking for. We're not asking for any handouts. Opportunity and fairness is what we're looking for. This country was built on immigrants from all over. And everybody should be given an equal opportunity. And the Trump administration is not doing that. Just look at the cabinet. Everything is, DEI. When the plane and the helicopter in the Potomac, before he found out the results, he was blaming DEI. One of the first things he did was, as I told you previously, suspended the executive order of 1964. He fired, without reason, the chief of staff, chairman of the board, he just replaced a lot of blacks, women. He just fired a whole bunch of women. He's going off on a tangent, firing so many federal workers. It's unbelievable what he's doing right now. He has also caused me some headaches. I have a small what do they call it? Not 501, but annuity. And in the last month, the annuity has gone down $25,000-$30,000. He's doing a lot of things that don't make any sense. He's causing problems to NATO. He's doing everything. As a person, I wanted to give him that opportunity. Because as I tell people, everything is seriously of just going to live overseas for a while. I really have been thinking about it. But I love his country, and I wanted to give him a chance to see if he do the right things. But he's doing all the wrong things. He's slowly trying to take, putting his cronies in. He's like, to me, it looks like he's trying to be a dictator. I mean, he's trying to take over the Justice Department, and everything. He's trying to control air. He's giving everything over to Musk. The previous administration changed some of the names of their base. I don't think it was made any sense for them to change the names of their bases, but they did. And so now he's changing them back. Just doing everything to split the country. And this country is split 50-50 because I have a lot of people that agree with me, and a lot of people think he's the king. He's the greatest. So I don't know. This is dangerous times. So I don't know what we're gonna do. It's tough. And right now they're talking about as an educator, he wants to. I'm leery of him trying to get rid of the Board of Education. Because it does so much work beyond just educate kids. It also feed kids. It does so much for with its Type 1 programs. It's unbelievable. A lot of kids will be suffering. So I don't know. Trump has also started tariff wars with our allies, Canada and Mexico. Making things expensive. Things are going to be expensive. You don't realize that. You see, people were talking about the price of eggs were higher. Either people don't understand the price of eggs is probably going to get higher because we have some bird flu here in the United States, and we're going to need to import more eggs. And if we have to pay a tariff on eggs coming into the United States, especially from Mexico, it's going to get higher. Everything is going to be higher. We have to understand if you want 50, Canada hit us back with a 50% tariff. We're playing games. In all the years, since basically going back, Canada has been a friend to the United States. And we're in a picking there. You also want to stir up some trouble with taking the Panama Canal back. And he wants to get Greenland. I mean, who wants Greenland? Greenland is cold. Americans, wake up. We need to find a way to get rid of this man. I think in the next couple of months, we're going to find a lot of people pushing for him to be impeached. So he waste more money again. And of course, he's going to be found innocent because the Republicans are in charge. So we're just wasting money. But that's just my right. You can agree or disagree with me. That is your choice. But I was saying, I'm just enjoying my life here in El Paso, Texas. Another thing is, he has this idiot in charge of the health agency. Now, here in Texas, we have over 200 cases of measles. And measles was gotten rid of over 20 plus years ago. Well, not only 20, 34 years ago. It was eradicated here. And in Texas, we have over 200 cases. We also have that nut in the health department, RFK, that don't believe in vaccination. People, get your vaccination. Vaccination have gotten rid of polio, measles, and quite a few diseases, including COVID-19. So parents, go out there and get your kids vaccinated. Because when your kid die, all people are going to say is, I'm sorry, but you're going to be responsible for your kids dying. So go out there and get your vaccine. I don't know how many vaccines I've gotten over the years. Like every time we was in the military going somewhere, we used to get vaccinated. So go out there and get your vaccination shot. Don't let these people cause you to lose your kids. You know. So people agree with me. You know, I've lost a few subscribers because I've been called being a leftist communist. I love this country. I want the right thing for this country. You know, so I'm willing to give your president a chance, but he's just blowing it. You know, so I'm still looking for supporters. I haven't in the last 2 months. I haven't gotten any additional subscribers. So, you know, if you agree with me, just don't like this vlog. Also, please help me, brother, out by subscribing to this channel. Thank you for letting me vent. Hope to see you in more videos. Thank you.